there are mowers. And then there are mystery mowers from a brand you've never heard of that you score for free from the boss at work that breaks something new every 3 months but can be brought back to life time and time again. Introducing Zombower, my obviously undead lawnmower. Zombower is a second-hand, Icon-branded lawnmower that breaks bits all the time, but can be resurrected time and time again, whenever you can't find your own dog in the long grass. It's got more lives than Wile E. Coyote. Yes, Zombower was a freebie from the boss who claimed it was a ripper mower, and that was enough for me to throw it in the back of the car and take it home. Even though a wandering engineer at work couldn't get it to hold idle and gave up on it himself. I still figured I could use it somehow. Anything had to be better than what I had at home. The Talon Yard Falcon, a truly rubbish 80s sci-fi type name for a truly rubbish lawnmower. I brought it from new to mow the lawns myself instead of paying someone, and discovered it would have been easier just to poison the lawn with weed killer and salt the earth underneath it. The Lawn Falcon didn't actually cut the lawn. It more attempted to woo the grass into submission with some soft massaging and sensual poetry, which meant it barely did anything. When it met a job it didn't like, it stopped. If the grass was a millimetre too tall, it stopped. If the grass was slightly damp, it stopped. It stopped a lot, which meant I had to start it up again. A lot. And when it finally refused to start after years of massaging, rather than fix it, I gave it away for free on Facebook. Someone else could fix it and get to woo their grass into hopefully falling over. Which left Zombower behind the shed to take on the lawn duties. Once I could get it working, of course. It took a couple of hours to resurrect Zombower the first time. It turned out the float bowl was completely gunked up and full of petrol older than the mower itself. The air filter was dirtier than a gym sock after a big weight session, and the spark plug was choking on more carbon than a game of Need for Speed. Once these things were taken care of though, it groaned back into life and I had a working mower! Well, sort of. There was good and bad news. The bad news was it only had 3 speeds. Not going at all, rough idle about to conk out, and zombie crawl. The good news was that zombie crawl was more than enough to eat through everything. We're talking grass, dirt, sticks, toys the kids left behind, bones the dog left behind, and random junk that somehow ended up in the garden. It chews them up and spits them out before you could say, I probably should have moved that out of the way first. It hasn't always been a flawless grass-destroying machine from hell though. First major breakdown was the fuel line, who one day decided to go on strike and water the base of the mower with petrol rather than feed fuel to the rest of it. After scrounging around the shed, the best I could find was some 10mm tube that I recently used in the Soda Blaster project. While it connected fine with the tank, I had to use a 12mm spade bit to open up the fuel filter enough to feed it in. It still leaked a tiny amount of fuel, but some spare gasket maker should keep everything where it should be. The next pretty vital part to go? The pull cord retractor spring. The cord came out, but never went back in. And after spending too long trying to fix the spring, I gave up and looked for a couple of options. Luckily, there's a couple of ways of starting Zombower. One is to use a socket, extension, and a decent drill that fits the extension. However, rather than lug around my corded hammer drill every time I mow the lawn, I just use the cord. Well, what's left of it anyway. You just wrap it around the wheel, pull, and get ready to smoke out the neighborhood. If you lose the cord, anything else can be substituted, like spare stereo speaker wire that was just lying around, not doing much. Recently, one of the blades came loose. It must have smacked onto something tougher than it was, possibly Wolverine. However, it was a simple job of undoing the blade, degreasing everything down, removing all the crap grass, and then tightening everything back up with a breaker bar. Now, it's stronger than ever before. Of course, my luck probably won't last forever, and I'm sure that there'll be a day where I go to start it and it'll be stone cold dead. Or spontaneously explode. Or eat my brains. Probably the first one more than the other two. But until that day, my mower will continue to be resurrected when needed, and left to scare off passing wildlife when it's not. Thank you, Zombower, you evil undead bastard.